highlight over here because our light's motivated from this way. In other words, the sun is setting to the west here, but we still have a dark part. We're in open shade. So almost anything that I shoot, I want to make sure that I get her face and that her face isn't blown out. So I've set my exposure meter right on her face using Camera Plus, lock my exposure. Now I'm just shooting away. I mean, everything is like gorgeous. I'm shooting, Sir's also a professional model, and we're outside of Delhi. We're at the Lodi Gardens outside of Delhi. It's so beautiful here. It's so beautiful. A little bit of cloud cover. It's late afternoon. She has sort of a Middle Eastern outfit on, black. And you can see she's got like jet black hair, darker complexion, full. She's beautiful, absolutely beautiful. Now to the camera, to the iPhone, that's going to say all that black and it's going to read all this black as gray, and we don't want that. So the camera is going to say, I need more light, more light, more light, when in fact we need less light, less light, less light to get a discriminating exposure. So I'm going to go in and using my favorite camera replacement app, Camera Plus, you can see the highlights. This is the brightest part of the frame. I should be in the Camera Plus. I'm going to go in and put my exposure reticle right there. Look at that. I'm going to lock it down here. See that? So it's locked. So if I shoot here, if I shoot here, if I shoot here, it's all the same. So I'm locked on her face, which means that's the most important part of the frame. And like always, when you see me on videos, I'm going to get a healthy amount of verticals and horizontals. We don't want to come too close when we're shooting portraits with an iPhone, maybe about an arm's length. Anything closer than that is probably not good because it exaggerates the facial features and we don't want that. With Ashika here, the light is falling on her, but the background is really dark. So if you just point your iPhone, or really any mobile phone for that matter, and try to expose for that, it's going to read all that darkness in the background. It's going to overexpose. It's going to say we need more light, more light, more light, when in fact we need less light. So we have to use a camera reticle that will allow us to separate our focus and exposure. In this case, I'm using Camera Plus. So I'm going to use the exposure reticle, lock it right on the side of her face there. It's locked. Now, I'm not bothered by that background. So we're at our second location here. I don't know where this is. It's a park somewhere outside of Delhi where you have the beautiful Indian model, professional model, Ashika. I'm shooting with my iPhone. I'm tethered to this power pack because I'm out of juice. If you've ever shot with your iPhone before, you know you got about 2 hours at full battery charge and then you're depleted. So you need a way to power it up. I use the ZAG 6000. They give me probably 2 extra hours. So I have 4 of these, the ZAG Spark 6000s. You can see they have 2 USB ports. So I'm plugged in. So if you see this thing dangling from my pocket, that's kind of what it is. I need to be charging while I'm shooting. So I'm going to stick that in my back pocket and we are going to shoot some iPhone shots of Ashika. Now, look at this. I mean, we just stumbled upon it. We didn't set this up, but this looks like we scouted this in advance. The color tones of her blouse, her top match almost perfectly. The flowers in the background, the black, it is just like, it is a beautiful, beautiful shot. I can't wait to get started. Let's have it. So Serbi had a black outfit like Ishika has on, black skirt, black top. So that's a problem for reflective meters in the camera. So instead of letting my auto exposure calculate what my exposure is on this black, I know it's going to give me the wrong exposure. So I'm going to set my exposure on her skin tones. Somewhere up around in here, maybe over here. And doing that, I'm going to use Camera Plus to do that. So I set my exposure right there on her skin tones. I'm going to lock that exposure. It's actually a little cool, so I'm going to bring it over here. I'm going to lock my white balance on this warm part, bring it back. That's what I want. Now, let's go. Yeah, the sun. Oh, that's beautiful. Wow, look at that. That is killer shot. Don't move. That is so nice. Hold on. Slowly come back toward camera. That's it. And hold it right there. Don't move. Go back again. Look at that light. See, the light is looking right on. Oh my goodness. So Ashika's used her hands as a pro would to basically just bring her bangs back a little bit. And again, remember our arms right. We don't want to be much closer than about an arm's length from her body so that her features don't exaggerate, because the lens inside the camera phone is the equivalent of a wide angle or a 28, 29, 30 millimeter lens. That's really nice. Hold it. Ashika, we have light coming from behind her, so technically she's backlit. So in other words, the sun is coming from behind her. We just showed you a shot of what front lighting looks like. This is backlighting, where the light is coming from behind her. And see what it's doing to her body? It basically is highlighting, or what they call rim lighting, rim around there. So if I just took a shot like that, it's probably going to read too dark. This is another problem area that the iPhone or any mobile photography camera has to shoot properly exposed backlight. So I am going to lock my exposure with my camera right here, somewhere in the dark area, and intentionally overexpose this shot. And this, in the fashion world, would be more like a high-key shot. Oh my goodness, that is incredible. I'm gonna go right behind her head. That is beautiful. I'm gonna do, because I like the shot of Ashika, I'm gonna do it with Subri, and we're gonna do a backlit shot. So she's got this black, thick hair. I mean, she's got a lot of hair. So I'm gonna try to position her where the light is hitting her from the back. I'm shooting her face. Actually, I'm gonna show you what a front lit shot looks like and what a backlit. Let's start with the front lit. Right here, the black, half of my meter is on the black and half of it is on the skin. So imagine this little square. That's where my exposure lock is. Now I'm going to come back and shoot it. That means my camera won't be fooled by this strong backlight. I want it to be all... So you can't do this unless you're locking your exposure, because every time you move your camera, the camera will change the exposure, bright, dark, bright, dark, bright, dark. So you want to use a camera app that gives you independent control of the focus and the exposure. In this case, we're using Camera Plus. So I've locked my exposure reticle right on the dark part of her face, and now I'm just shooting away.